Hey guys, how are things? We're back here this morning and we're doing a slightly different video. I'm just having a cup of tea here. I'm kind of afraid to put it down because my wolfhound is fond of tea. So we're not testing anything this morning. What I'm doing is I have a bag of tricks here and I'm going to go through while we're locked down. These are knives that I haven't tested, I have been using, and we're going to go through them, and I'm not sure which one I'm going to test first, so if you want to give us a shout out in the comments what you might like to see tested first. So they're in no particular order, they're just as they come to hand. And first one out, this is the Blackbird SK5, and I generally don't go for stainless steel knives, but as stainless steel knives go, this has proved to be a pretty good knife. It's a survival knife with a basic Kephart design, which, you know, that spear point I always just seem to favour. Great knife. My only quib with this, and I have this quite a long time when they came out first, my only quib with it is it didn't come particularly sharp, and it took a bit of work on the stones to get it to what I would consider sharp. But that said, since then it's proven to be a great knife. It really has. I'm pretty sure it's 154 steel, pretty sure it is. It's made by my friend Paul Scheider, and he actually made this sheath for me as well, the Hedgehog Leatherwork sheath. Great knife. Okay, so I'm going to just throw that down there now. Those sheaths, I know I have done a video on this actual sheath, but I haven't done it on the knife. Next out, this is a Sasha knife, Sasha Puko knife. It's the knife that Boss use. So Boss Survival School, Boulder Outdoor Survival School, it's gone since 1968. It's one of the oldest in the world. This is a great knife, it really is. I really enjoy using this knife, and it really is a cool knife. Next up, I'm going to drink my tea. Usually the wolfhound is after the tea. Okay, another stainless steel knife here. This is made by Ettridge Knives, Chirose Custom Knives, and this is a pretty cool knife. I'll be honest with you, I haven't given this an awful lot of use. I'll tell you as I go along whether I've used the knife a lot or not, and I haven't given this one a huge amount of use, as you can see, but it's definitely up for testing. Here is a really cool knife. This is the Tops Callum Volkov hookup, and another knife made by a friend of ours. I really enjoyed this knife. As you can see, the bearing block has been used on it. It's very, very comfortable. It's a pleasure. This knife is a pleasure to use, and has a fantastic 90-degree spine, one of the best actually. Fair play to Tops on that. Another friend of mine that designed this knife, and that's the name of his nature reserve, Callum Volkov. So yeah, this is a really, really good knife. Some people don't like these brass Phillip head screws in it. They think they look ugly, but apparently the thinking behind that was if you want to remove the slabs, a Phillips head screw, you'll always find one in the jungle or whatever, and they use brass because it doesn't corrode. Next out, another great knife. This was gifted to me from Gary. I love this knife. It's the Tom Brown Scout, so it ideally meant to accompany your tracker knife, but you know what, this can survive this can function as a survival knife in its own way. It's a great knife, really is, and it's one of those knives I wonder why I haven't had it a long time ago. Another one fairly new in, but I have to say I'm enjoying this. Very cheap knife, but what's not to like about this? You know, it's under 30 euros. It's the Bushman, the cold steel Bushman. It's made of an SK5 steel. Takes a great edge, and SK5 is, you know, a time-proven steel. I actually had, back in the 80s, I had an SRK and SK5. Pretty sure it was SK5. I don't know where that knife ended up. I think I lost it. Pity, because my daughter Shannon favours the SRK as a survival knife. Now, in my thinking, something like this would be great paired off with the likes of the Sasha Pucko or the Tops Callum Volkov Pucko, you know. This is a good knife, and, you know, it's a knife that you don't have to be afraid to use. And, you know, regardless of what money you pay for a knife, you shouldn't be afraid to use it. And you're not paying the maker any justice if you're not using it. What have we got here now? Okay. This is one from our friend Jamie. I've been using this a bit. This has a crazy spine on it, and before Jamie sent this out to me, you know, he has favoured the edge for scraping, knowing that I'm left-handed holding the knife in my left hand, so it really screams sparks off here on this side. Great knife. I really enjoy this. You know, in my thinking, it's not very far removed from what Morse Kahansi would consider the ideal bushcraft type knife. Very, very sharp too. Jamie makes some great stuff, guys, and a very nice guy to deal with, and he really does want to get you the best product that he can. Here's another one from Jamie. I don't have this in the sheath now because these two knives are very similar and they share a sheath depending on which one I'm using at the time. I love this knife, and this is my I suppose my Sunday special, this one. Jamie put a lot of work into this, and even though you can see it's a Sunday special, you can see it's being used. This is a crazy sharp knife too, you know, and I love this silver inlay. I reckon this took a few years out of Jamie's life. Okay, he really tortured with this. Okay, and I doubt he'll do another one. But man, isn't that a pretty knife, right? And that's kind of my own design, and Jamie brought it to life for me. Bog oak handles as well. I love this knife. I love all the knives, but that's a good special. Okay, a big one has come to hand here. This is the pack knife Raptor 3V steel. This is a tough old knife, and I reckon it's the closest tracker style knife that you're going to get to a Beck. It's very reminiscent to the Beck, you know. That's a narrow gauge there. Myself and Gary, to be fair, we beat the living snot out of this in the woods one day, and you know, knives like this, I don't think, sometimes they don't get used too heavily, you know, because they're quite expensive. Great knife. Nice sheath too, I like the sheath on it. Yeah, what's coming to hand next? Oh, this is a cool little knife. LT Wright, the Proghorn. This is a lovely little necker, you know, and it's a great knife, and I've used it quite a bit. It's a marvellous little knife for cutting out hardboards for friction fire. It's just a cool looking little knife, I think, as well. And you'd hardly know you had it, but it's you know, full tang. You know, you could depend on this. Great 01 steel, and LT just does a bit of magic with heat treat on knives. And what's coming next? Okay, so there's kind of a double whammy in this. This is the Cobblers SRT Mark II. I have the Mark I also, but I always found with the problem with the Mark I, and this is a great knife, but it did have a downfall, and the handle slabs were quite thin, and I've pretty big hands, very big hands actually, and it wasn't comfortable for me. I couldn't hold on to them. And you need a seriously thick handle on this, because you've got such depth in the blade. When you're cutting, that depth makes it's almost paddle size. It wants to twist in your hand, so unless you have a really good thick handle, that's going to happen. This has changed, completely changed the knife in my opinion. This here, if you're wondering what that is, that's a culvert for your ferro rod. Okay, so your ferro rod fits into that, and it has a little companion knife here. So the thinking on this, you can wrap this to a stick and use it as a spear. And I guess that this wave on it, when you have it lashed, that's what creates security. I've never used this as a spear, but I know that's the thinking behind it. I'm not really a big fan of spears and stuff like that. My intention genuinely would be, if you're lashing a knife to a stick, it's really to cut briars or something like that, where you don't want to get tore up by thorns, or if you're trying to get something that you just can't reach from the ground, whether it be fruit or whatever. Okay, so here's our friend Davey Crawford. This is his kind of take on a bush tool. This is 3V steel. This is a superb knife, and I've been using this quite a lot, and I'm gonna say I'm using this well over 6 months. It's a great knife. It really is. In actual fact, I've purchased a few versions of the bush tool, you know, over the years, and I think this is, I don't think in a note, this is my favourite version of it. It's a slightly larger version too, but that 3V steel is fantastic. We're getting close to the bottom of the bag now. Here's a lovely neck knife, another LT right, and it's a flat grind A2 steel. But what I like about this, and this is a huge problem with neck knives, what I like about this is it has a good sized handle. Like, I mean, it's a proper handle on a neck knife, which is always the downfall of neck knives. Neck knives come with, you know, a blade maybe this size and some sort of a handle that is just not suitable to use. This is. And another knife that I use a hell of a lot for carving out cardboards. I love this knife. Actually, while I have you there, Kydex Ireland made this sheath for me, and it changed the function of this knife for me, you know, because I just like it. I usually have it on a lanyard, and I can get to it fairly quickly. This guy, you know, his Kydex is fantastic. You know, he's the fella that I did the Kydex wallet with. He's done a lot of knives for me, and some difficult knives, kukris and stuff like that, but man, he's got Kydex down to a T. Okay, Templar knives. I'll be honest with you guys, I haven't used this knife at all. I've cut nothing with this. It's only in the door a few days, but I really like this. It's a cool looking knife, and it's quite comfortable in the hand. Like, we're not talking about LT Ride comfortable. It's a different kind of knife. It's lashed. It's very lightweight. Lovely knife. 3V steel again, and a great edge on it. It's not a zero Scandi, so it is a pseudo Scandi to call it, or, you know, akin to a sabre grind. It's a lovely knife, and it's one of those knives that will most certainly be used. I have a little brother here, even though this is small enough. Now, I have used this quite a bit, and this is another cool little knife. I just like that finish, you know. I'll show you the two of them side by side. Lovely. So they kind of share the same size handle. Two great little knives, they really are. And do I have anything else in the bag? No, I don't. We've reached the end of it. So, the only other knife that I don't have here that I will be testing, and I've been using an awful lot over the last period of time, it's the new version of the Eagle Ridge Survival Knife. So we have the ERSK, the award-winning Eagle Ridge Survival Knife, and it's quite a large knife. Not so big that you wouldn't be inclined to have it on you, but it is large. And we brought a companion knife out, and it's called the Talon. I think I showed it to you in the video yesterday with the Bushman and the LT right. Superb knife, great little knife, but that is going to have a whole video of its own, because for such a simple knife, there's a lot of thought went into that knife, and it does a lot of things for a small knife. It's quite capable of functioning as a standalone survival knife, which I believe every knife should be capable of that. Your companion knife should be able to serve as a standalone survival knife, because otherwise there really is not much point in having that knife. If it can't do the tasks that you need a larger survival knife to do, you could have problems. So you will rarely see me promoting a stick tang or 3/4 tang knife as a potential companion knife. And I said before, and I don't want to sound like a broken record, stick tang knives work for some people in different environments, but if you're living in an arid environment, the requirement to batten down timber to get to a dry core is not really a thing, but it is in Ireland, because you know, I know the sun is shining today, but it predominantly rains. So guys, if you're interested, give me a comment and tell me what you'd like to see testing first. Other than that, it's just going to be a lucky day. So we will be back tomorrow, because I have nothing else to do really at the moment. I'm not going into the woods and stuff like that. I'm trying to be responsible, and you know, it's hard, but I'm trying to be responsible and you know, do what's the best for everybody, you know, and kind of keep to myself. So give us a shout, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.